Alright, this little video is going to be about America's history and firearms compared to Europe's history and weapons. You know, a lot of people make the mistake of comparing the United States, 240 roughly years old, to many countries in Europe, uh, over 1,000 years old. Those countries, Scotland, Germany, England, etc., went through their everyone carrying a weapon phase. It just happened to be the sword or maul or something else, daggers, etc. But everyone carried weapons once upon a time in their early stages of being a society, a civilization. We're a little over 200 years old, 250, 240 years old, roughly in there. And we were founded on the need for firearms. When Europeans who carried firearms came here, um, they encountered another large mass of people who had weapons as well, even though it wasn't firearms, the Native Americans. And in order to subdue them, they needed those weapons. So, for those that compare us to European countries and you know, not the not needing weapons, those countries are much further along. They just don't have the youth and the crime I might talk about. They have crime, of course, but nothing like America. America is a huge country. The United States is a huge country with a huge population. Most of those countries that many compare us to, Canada, Germany, Australia, even, have like 30 million population. We have over 300 million population. We have a lot of diversity, a lot of differences, a lot of desperation. We're a country founded on capitalism, and we frown on social programs, etc. Many do. So we have created a necessity for many of us who have to be able to defend ourselves in our homes with the best weapon, best tool possible, and that is the firearm at this point in our endeavors. So comparing us to a country that's 1,000 years old, who has went through its growing pains and has become such a marvel of civilization and had 1,000 years or more to learn, it's not fair. Many of these countries don't have the diversity that we have. And diversity is good, but it can also cause problems. Let's be honest. Native Americans, just ask them. Europeans came over and everything was hunky-dory, wasn't it? No. A whole continent was taken from them. They were pretty much wiped out. That holds true throughout the world. Look at Africa. Colonization from England, France, Spain, Central America, the same thing. Cultures don't tend to get along too well. Diversity is a great thing in small amounts with lots of people, but it can also cause lots of problems, as we can see here in the United States. So for both parties, the African American during slavery and during unrest in the civil rights era had to use firearms, had to use weapons to protect themselves against a tyrannical government that didn't see them as equal. That should teach us all that We all need to be armed. And when we look throughout the world and we see countries like China and many other countries that Korea, etc., North Korea, etc., that keep their people at bay, it's because they took their farms away from them first. Comparing us to the rest of the world is just like comparing the person who lives in the country, uh, in a small rural neighborhood, to a suburbanite or a city dweller, and vice versa. It just makes no sense. We, unfortunately, in this country, in the United States, in our birth rate, we have to keep our weapons. It just is what it is. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe and be safe.